Listen to the forest and the tale that is sung. Your adventures have just begun. A place where heroes are truly blessed. Welcome to Evermeadow. What is your quest?
Master! Please! I'm going to keep them alive. Wait, this kid! You need it now! Down my throat! Yes! Yes! Let the shroom tails and nuggets sustain me. Thank you, Malone. Off I go. But the herald moon, as I sit upon my throne, I will make them all pay. Eternity's just another
Such pride swells in my divine heart as I watch my disciples and the elven lovers continue to make a difference in the world. They ventured forth to the Bloodfire Ravine, formerly known as the Others Ravine by its previous warlord, Grumgall. In our time, a new master has arisen, one who dabbles in voodoo and souls, able to usher in a more mysterious means of destruction that the former avatar of Grumsh ever could. The witch doctor Jujamoni commands respect and authority in a way the monstrous races of the ravine dare not question. In order to gain access to these lands where Zolka resides, Valrog and Kor had to muzzle the elves in the party, for they would be considered beings to kill on sight, if not bound to the Goliath and Harpy whose races are in plentiful supply here. Once inside the large wooden gate, the party found quite the gathering of warriors and raiders, whom some were responsible for recent and past attacks on Tel Rabi, the homeland of Santara Nagpur. As well, the giant stew pot in the center of town, shades of Turvan Farms, though has been standing for much longer, its contents are being dispensed out to the brave champions of the ravine. The recipe? Slaves, of course! Plenty of them in store in a building known as the Pantry, where their captives go into the pot once they've lost their usefulness. Those in the pantry and the chained dwarf who serves them swill were given a chance to be purchased by my faithful crusader, and thus was allowed access to measure up these humanoid cargoes, with Grumgall responsible for opening the way. I was brought forth from my divine realm to aid in their freedom, with the payment of Valrog's old insignia. If these adventurers only knew what it takes for a god to make themselves material and to lend miracles out. Perhaps they will gain the sacred knowledge of crafting tributes and establishing altars and holy lands in my name. For until my chains are broken, my aid is limited. Yet I will always do what I can in accordance to my contract to support my favorite individuals. I whisked the slaves away to Castletown, which caused Jujamoni to become enraged at Grumgall, demanding he go round up the ingredients. Valrog caught up with the former war chief and gave him a nice sack of coins to start a new life somewhere else. With a grin and possibly a smidgen of respect for the Goliath, the orc who bears many sins has started his pilgrimage to the west. Kor found Zolker, the former Steelheart Brave, in the meal line and challenged him to an archery contest. The mere idea that anyone could compete with this well-trained assassin compelled him to take my fiery ranger on a challenge, and they marched out of the ravine with the elves to a place far from the walls and eyes of the lookouts in the watchtower. While in a false sense of security, Evreese conjured a fey spirit to take on some of the properties of a rhino that collapsed on top of Zolker, pinning him to the ground. Such delicious brutality was dispensed upon his humbled body, with Evreese stomping on one of his pinkies, Kor slicing off his right hand with her talons, and Centaura scrambling one eye in its socket while prizing out the other to keep. Naturally, I had to expend a bit of magic to preserve said eye in a glass jar, floating in fluids, with the faith gained from Valrog's insignia. After all, it's not every day when a person gets to enact vengeance for the death of their father. Oh, what fortunes, powers, and glories these elves could know under my tutelage. My paladin was also gifted Zulkar's dagger when we met earlier, in case he needed to be blamed for the slave's escape, but instead it was bestowed upon Centaura to hold on to the memories. The dagger holds magical properties that I would be happy to awaken, for a price of course, yet it may serve a useful purpose as time goes on. This blade that has drank the blood of so many innocent quote-unquote civilized people, Anar Nagpur being one of them. With justice enacted, my brother came to unleash his own brand of it, leaving a terrible molten crater where Zelka used to be. So away, away with ye horsemen of death, to Olaf Gungason's manor just to the north of Borzenberg. With a sickle offered by Kor, I was able to bring the party outside of my home, to get a head start on their journey to Borzenberg, for if Dirge is left to his pilgrimage, he will march through the Seltzer Desert until he blasts through the Great Asari Tower. With how tall that structure is, we don't want this. I wonder what tactics the party will employ this time.